Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I am an ISFP. You are watching my ISFP journey. Thank you so much for watching. Do please subscribe if you have not already. I would really appreciate that. I've gotten a little bit of positive feedback on the video that I did outdoors, specifically about the fact that it was outdoors. So I'm going to try another one here, and I apologize if there's too much background noise. That's why I don't normally do them outside, because of the background noise. I also apologize if I'm distracted. I love hummingbirds, so I have lots of hummingbird feeders, and there are hummingbirds playing all around me at this moment. So I love them. They make me happy. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about inferior thinking. For me, specifically, inferior extroverted thinking. If you follow the objective personality system, they would call your inferior function one of your two demon functions. So for me, I could say demon thinking, or demon specifically extroverted thinking. And if you're not into objective personality and the more traditional Myers-Briggs concepts, then you probably refer to your eighth function as your demon function, and just your fourth function as your inferior function. So whatever your inferior function is, it causes you problems. And you may or may not be highly aware of the problems that it causes you. And you may or may not be conscious of the fact that you often react rather poorly when you are forced to use your inferior function, or for you objective personality type people, one of your demon functions. But I have been keenly aware recently of my demon/inferior extroverted thinking and the trouble that it is causing me. And I could, as I've done in many years past, just blame everyone else for my problem and act like the other people in my life should have to figure it out and tiptoe around me and behave differently, so that I don't have to be inconvenienced by having to use my extroverted thinking. But I don't want to be that person. I want to be someone who says, okay, I'm being forced to do something I don't want to do, and I need mosquito, and I need to grow up and deal with it. And I also don't want the fact that it messes with me to take up a huge chunk of my time. Dave and Shannon on Objective Personality talk about the fact that they want to get themselves to the point where pretty much anything that happens to them will, no matter how badly it rocks them or shakes them, will be something that they can get over in 20 minutes or less. So let me tell you kind of what I've got going on. See, it's so, I don't know if you guys can hear all those cars. There are just constant cars going up and down this street. It's so loud. Anyway, I hope it's not terribly loud on the video. Anyway, so we're remodeling our kitchen. We're doing all sorts of work on our home. And we have this, my wife bought this old style double basin, sort of drain board on each end, cast iron sink. And I need to build a piece of furniture for it to fit down into. And while I enjoy doing woodworking and I enjoy building things and I enjoy making things, sometimes if the schematic, or in this case, there is no schematic, I'm having to figure it out on my own. Sometimes if the building of it, the design of it, if it's not really obvious, then all of a sudden I have to start extroverted thinking, figuring out how to make it work. And so I had been looking at this sink, and I had been thinking about how I'm going to build this piece of furniture for this sink to fit into. And it had kind of been plaguing me, and I didn't want to mention it to my wife because she was really excited about the sink top, and I didn't want to make it seem like I hated the sink top or couldn't build the piece of furniture. So I was just kind of ignoring it and pondering it in my mind. And finally, the other night, we had a conversation about it, and we started talking about it, and I was stuck. I was saying, I can't figure this out. There's no way. I don't know how to make this happen. Okay, I can think of a couple ways to make this happen, but I don't know how to do it. We're going to have to hire a professional. Anyway, and I started having some anxiety, like a minor anxiety attack. I started having trouble catching my breath. And I've had these sort of anxiety attacks from time to time in my life. And I found this this teaching called Buteyko breathing, and it really helped me a ton. So if you, by the way, if you have trouble breathing, like you can't catch your breath, like you can't get a deep breath, if you have anxiety and you have that happen to you, check out the Buteyko breathing clinic on the internet. It's spelled like Buteyko. It's amazing. And they do clinics. They do like clinics that you can physically go to also. I don't know if they're doing them right now with the whole pandemic thing or not. But anyway, so in the past when I had these little bouts of breathing issues, I would just, do the Buteyko breathing thing and I was fine. Well, I started really, getting worked up over like, how am I going to make it work that this sink is going to, be able to come to fruition and be usable. And I started having this breathing problem, and it lasted longer than I wanted it to. So I came outside and I, watered the flowers, I think that night. It was a few nights ago. And I got over it and I was doing better. And then, pardon me, last night, my wife brought it up again. She was like, okay, I have some ideas on how we might be able to build the sink basin and or build the piece of furniture for the sink. And I started thinking about it, and, I started getting a little bit to where I was having trouble with the breathing, and I was like, okay, I cannot let this affect me like this. Like, in the past, I might have said, can we just not talk about the sink? I don't want to talk about it. Can we just not? But that's really not very mature. The mature thing is to say, okay, this is a real issue that really needs to be dealt with. This is a real piece of furniture that we really need to build, and I really need to figure out how to build it. So instead of, like, freaking out and making everybody else shut down and saying, no, you are not allowed to talk to me about this because I don't like it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do that. So I, as best as I could, listen to what she had to say and tried to have the conversation. And I started having a little bit of the breathing problems again because this whole sink thing is really like stressing me out because I'm just not 100% sure on how I'm going to make it work. And anyway, so I was like, I got over it. I'm like, I do not want this to go more than 20 minutes. So I got over it pretty fast. And then like sometime later, she was just looking at something on her computer and she turned her computer to show me, and it was like this wall cabinet. She was like, do you think you could build this? And like, boom, it hit me. I started having the breathing trouble again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you cannot be serious. So I asked her, I was like, can we go for a walk? So it was like kind of late last night. I think this was last night. Anyway, and so she and I went for a walk, and that helped me to get to feeling better. Yeah, it was last night. And here's kind of my takeaway from the whole thing. You have an inferior function or a demon function or two demon functions if you subscribe to objective personality. And when you're forced to use them, you probably will not like it, and you probably will get frustrated. And you have the option. You can blame the people in your life who are, in your mind, putting you in this situation where you have to use these aspects of your brain you don't like to use. And you can get mad at them and you can say, hey, I expect you to completely warp your entire world around the fact that I don't like this. Do what I want so I don't have to be uncomfortable. You can do that. And I have done that, like a ton in my life. And it's really jerky. And it's really immature, and it's the sign of the fact that you're so addicted to your favorite functions that when anyone puts you in a situation where you have to use the functions you don't like, you treat them badly, you lash out, you behave like a child, and you don't accomplish anything. Because ultimately, if you want to accomplish things in life, there are times when you're just going to have to use the functions you don't like to use. So you can do that. You can behave like a child and be mean and expect everybody else to treat you differently, treat you like you're special, and change their whole pattern of existence to suit you. Or you can say, okay, I'm feeling it coming on. I'm realizing I'm having to use one of my functions that I don't like to use, demon function, inferior function, whatever you want to call them. And it's stressing me. And I'm feeling myself ready to have trouble with this. But it's me. This is all me. These people who are putting me in this situation have the right to put me in this situation because they need me to grow up and do certain things that require me to use these functions. So I'm going to grow up. I'm going to use these functions. I'm not going to freak out. And if I do freak out, I've got to get myself to the point, where I can get over it in 20 minutes or less. Like Dave and Shannon talk about in Objective Personality. Get over it in 20 minutes or less. Do you really want your whole day to be ruined? Do you really want something to happen that you don't like to have to deal with, and therefore it trash your mood for an entire day? 2 days. Do you really want to treat people in your life badly because you're having to do something you don't want to do? Do you really want to have anxiety attacks over having to, build a piece of furniture when making things work in the real world for other people is not your strong point? Or whatever is not your strong point. What's your demon function, or what's your inferior function? If your inferior function is extroverted sensing, and you just want to, plan out your life and be content to, hide away in your little hole and not have to take in the world. Do you really want your whole day to be wrecked when you have to face a large amount of sensory data? Do you want that? Or whatever it is, What about if you're a demon feeling? Do you really want to bury your emotions day after day after day after day after day until something happens that you can't bury them anymore, so it all comes out in a massive flood and you lash out at people or you behave in a crazy way, and then your day is ruined, your next day is ruined, you're just basically a basket case because you've been bottling up your emotions forever and now they come out? Whatever it is for you, is that really what you want? Because what I realized over the last couple of days when I've been thinking about this sink, and it's caused me to have an anxiety attack over a dang piece of furniture that I have to build, is that that's not what I want. I want to be able to stare down the problem and say, I am not the most well-equipped human being on planet Earth for dealing with this problem. But it is my problem to deal with. And by golly, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to complain, and I'm not going to treat other people badly. And if it makes me have a little bit of anxiety, I'm going to face it, I'm going to stare it down, and I'm going to get over it, hopefully in 20 minutes or less, so I can go about my day and do the stupid thing that I have to do. Please let me know what you think. I hope that, I don't know if this video is really meant to be encouraging or it's meant to be informational. It's just what's on my mind. I'm mad at myself for the fact that I'm having anxiety over building a stupid piece of furniture. I'm angry at myself. And so I'm making this video sort of as a therapeutic venting session about myself. So I can say, look how dumb I am, in a sense. Look how ridiculous I'm behaving. Look how crazy I'm being. And how much it's affecting me. And I know the simple fact that if this is happening to me, it's happening to you too. Just on different functions, possibly. If you're an ISFP, it might be the same function that you're freaking out over. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do please hit like. Do please subscribe. Oh, and one other thing. I'm going to put a link in the description to this thing called Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, Buy Me a Coffee. So if you're a regular viewer, a subscriber, and you appreciate the work that I'm doing and you'd like to contribute to, actually what you would be contributing to is my wife and I are trying to remodel our, well, we are remodeling our kitchen, but our upstairs bathroom hasn't worked. We've lived here for 16 years and the bathroom doesn't work, the upstairs bathroom. We only have one bathroom and there are 7 people who live here, and the bathroom needs $5,000 in renovations, $5,000 in plumbing work, and we can't afford that. So if you appreciate what I'm doing with these videos, if I've helped you at all and you would be willing to contribute to our Fix Our Dang Bathroom Fund, just see the link in the description, and any contribution that you would be willing to give, I just want to say in advance thank you. And if you don't want to or can't, I totally get that. I totally appreciate it. No problem. I just love it that you're watching these videos. Thank you so much and have an awesome day. Bye now.